How's it going today, guys? This is Austin with Timberline Productions. I can't talk today. Timberline Productions taking a look at the Malekko Lo-Fi Ekko 616 version 1, not the version 2. This one's a really interesting one. I've kind of gotten a weird taste for it. This does really weird, quirky sounds, and I think it does an amazing job as being a secondary delay, and that's currently what it functions as. So, what is it? It is an analog lo-fi delay. It runs off of Bucket Brigade chips, and it's got a real 8-bit computery sound to it. Here, I'll drop the regeneration in the time and the mix-up, so you can hear the crunchiness of it. So I'll get it set up. I'll turn off the modulation here. Maybe that'll help a little bit better. So it kind of loses its resolution as the more time goes on, which is really cool. It's got an interesting sound to it, especially paired with the modulation. So I like this pedal because it's a step up from like your carbon copy with just the modulation button and your standard 3 your time, your mix, and your regeneration knobs on it. It gives you a little bit more functionality. So also it has the built-in buffer, which is kind of cool. I don't use it because where it sits in my my pedal board, it doesn't really need it, and it more just added compression than anything else. So it's there if you need it. I don't use it anyways. Also, it's got an interesting range on the time. Goes all the way out to 650 milliseconds. It's either 650 or 560. Not a big difference either way, but it does have about a half-second delay time on it, which is perfectly fine for an analog delay. It's not doesn't have to be huge. What I use this mainly for is it's got that lo-fi crunchiness, and I pair it with a little bit of modulation, and I use it with a good smearing reverb to get my my pad sound. So I'd back the mix way down on it, probably about 11 o'clock, and that would give me some good washiness. Here, I'll get it set up probably the way I would use it. For whatever reason, I have it running on batteries, and it seems to be a little bit noisier than with a power supply, so bear that in mind. So just that modulated pitch shifty delay coupled with I'm sorry, I didn't mean to move that. Coupled with the lo-fi-ness of it gives it a nice smear to it, which if you want a delay that doesn't stick out very much, it more just kind of washes everything underneath and smears it all. This is a great pedal for that, which is definitely why this is my wash analog delay, even better than my timeline, which I pair this with. This does a really good job as being my secondary delay. So let's take a look at the modulation on it. I'll get it set up to look a little, or to sound a little bit more normal, and I'll play with the range. We have, because you probably can't see it very well with this camera, but on the left you have your speed, and on the right you have your depth with those 2 small black knobs. So let's get it set up. I'll play with the knobs a little bit. It's not it's a vibrato-y pitch shifty modulation. It's very thick, very heavy. I use it on basically the lowest settings possible. So I'll give you guys an idea of the range of it. So that was, I went pretty much maxed out here as both of the speed and depth at noon. This was a tape delay we'd be calling a repairman. So as you can see, that's just with both the knobs at noon, and it's very warbly. And if that's a sound you're after, that's cool. I think it isn't a bad sound. It's just not necessarily a sound I would use. Finally, let's talk about how, I don't know what it is. This pedal's just really noisy right now with it being on a battery. But I'll give you guys an idea of the range of the oscillation. This thing is really, really sensitive to oscillating. Even if I have it set to where at a low volume it won't oscillate, if I start to pound on the strings, then it might even start. So I'll let you guys take a look at it. My only complaint is I wish the regeneration knob had more range on it. It seems like anything past noon, it starts to oscillate no matter what. So I'll let you guys look at that, and I'll even play with the modulation a little bit and get some crazy noises out of it, and that's how I'll round off this video. Cool. So there you go. Sorry about bumping the camera. I need to get some sort of better setup. Oh, you can still hear it. Yeah, that's the only deal with it is that because it's true bypass, if you let it oscillate, it will forever oscillate. And so you'll have to kind of... There we go. So, like I said, it is a little noisy, but if that's what you're going for, that's perfectly fine. It's a great noisemaker pedal if you're wanting to get some weird, not necessarily ambient, but just sort of out there space noises. This would be really good for that. It has also has an input gain knob on the inside of it, a trim pot, which gives you an idea of how much gain you can run into the front end, which could actually make it sound even dirtier and give you kind of a special sound. Where I would use this is already number 1, where I have it as my my washy delay with really, really mild modulation and really, really mild mix. And just pairing it with a good reverb. Or if I was a keyboard player and I had like an old analog Moog that I wanted to have a good noisemaker pedal, this would do that really well. So that's been my review of the Malekko Lo-Fi Ekko 616 Mach 1. Thank you guys so much and have a good day.